I was thinking today is we would work, I'll do a little bit more shoulder work than usual, emphasis on shoulders. I was teaching somebody that has a frozen shoulder, and I don't know if you guys have ever had a frozen shoulder, but it basically makes you, it's the soft tissue around the shoulder that's the issue, and it can take a while to put itself right. But stretching is supposed to be good for it. Let's start off seated, nice and comfortably, resting the hands on the legs. I like to create a circle with the thumb and the index finger. Close the eyes, sit tall, and just bring your attention, bring all your focus to the breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, long deep breaths. As you inhale, fill the lungs, expand the ribs. Exhale, trying to make that exhale just as long as the inhale. You can hear the air flow through the throat as you breathe, Ujjayi breathing. It's not like it's super loud, but it is audible. So as I say, we're going to work on the shoulders a little bit more than usual, and the nice way to start is just by stretching the neck out. That gives you a little bit of shoulder stretch as well. So start bringing the right ear to the right shoulder. You can have the eyes open or closed, and we're just letting the weight of the head stretch the neck out. We're going to do this a couple of times each side. Inhale, come up. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale up. Exhale back over to that first side. Letting the head get heavier with the breath. So we're going to hold that side stretch, that neck stretch with the head, the ear towards the shoulder, but we're going to bring the head a little bit more forward. So you're feeling it a little bit more in the back of the neck and the shoulder. Then we take the head a little bit more backward. And then we bring the head up to center and over to the other side. Hold that for a breath or two. Keep that side stretch, but start bringing the head forward. And then taking the head backward. And then we bring the head up. And then we're going to look over the right shoulder, keeping the shoulders facing forward, and let the movement follow the eyes. So you're trying to gaze behind you as you turn the head. And then we inhale to center, and we turn the head in the other direction. I always think like mobility in the neck is really good to have. You know, it makes you a safer driver, so you can see what's going on at the side of the car. Bring the chin to the chest, and then just slowly rotate the head in one direction. Nice big circles, just like you're trying to draw a circle in the air with the chin. Take your time. And we're just going to do 2 or 3 rotations. And we end up with the chin at the chest. And then we rotate in the other direction. 2 or 3 times on this, in this direction. Ending up with the chin at the chest, and then bring the head up. And then just work on the shoulders. You can work on one at a time or both together. I'm going to work on one at a time. I'm bringing one shoulder forward, up, back and down. Just loosening up there, just rotating that shoulder. And then on the other side. As I say, I was working with somebody that had a frozen shoulder, and they probably couldn't bring their arm up higher than this on one side. And, you know, it would be painful and the movement totally restricted. Hopefully that's going to get better. Let's interlace the hands. So this is a nice one. So we interlace the hands, pushing the arms, extending the arms forward, palms towards the screen, and we're retracting the shoulders back a little bit, trying to pull the shoulders down. So you're trying to soften the shoulders. So it's more of a stretch of the hands and the arms on this one. And then we bring the arms up. Eventually we're trying to get the arms framing the face. You don't have to, don't force it. Take it easy. You know your own body, so just do what it says. Interlace the hands behind you. You're pulling the shoulders down, shoulder blades together, and we're going to hinge forward. We'll be doing this kind of stretch a few times. And as you fold more forward, tuck the chin, bring the arms up higher. And then just breathe, soften the shoulders. And then just see if they go a little higher. Maybe soften again. And then a little higher perhaps. And then we slowly come all the way up. Extend one arm to the side. Bring the other arm up. Reach up. Take a side stretch, looking up towards the ceiling. Inhale, coming out. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale, coming up. Nice shoulder stretch, the next one is a cross-body stretch. So we take the right arm, extend it forward, and we pull that arm in. This is a good one. We do this a lot. If you have any shoulder mobility issues, this is the one to do, I think. We're going to add a twist. So if you're pulling in the right arm, you're twisting to the left. If you're pulling in the left arm, you're twisting to the right. And we're going to, again, follow the gaze as we twist. And you breathe. And then the other side, extend the other arm forward, shoulder back. We pull that one in. Feel those muscles. You're trying to get those muscles to relax. Trying to soften. And that'll let you pull the arm in a little closer. It'll let you go deeper into the stretch. And then we add the twist. And then we come back. Extend the arms to the side. Lines of energy through the arms. Make sure the hands, the palms, the hands are nicely lined up with the arms. So none of this, no fingers sticking up, no lazy hands. Just get that nice alignment as we bring the right arm under the left arm into eagle arms. The arms don't have to be parallel, but they can be. You can bring the fingers of one hand into the other hand. You can touch the nose, you can bring the arms up, close the eyes and breathe. Eagle arms. One more breath. And we release. We extend the arms to the side again. we bring the left arm under the right arm, hands more or less parallel, but they don't have to be. And then you maybe bringing the fingers into the palm, touch the nose, and then you can bring the arms up, try and get tall. Take a few breaths on this side. And release. Come onto your hands and knees. Cat-cow. Inhale, belly down, head up. Exhale as you round the back and tuck the chin. Inhaling into cow. Exhale, cat. Come into neutral. Bring up the right arm. So the palm is facing midline, thumb up towards the ceiling. And you're going to just try and bring the whole body a little bit more forward. You're trying to keep that hand a little bit higher than the shoulders if you can. That'll make you work the core a little bit more. This is actually tougher than it looks, I think. But it really works the core, stabilizes the back. And then we switch arms, other arm comes up, palm midline, thumb facing up, and then we start bringing the whole body a little bit more forward, keeping that arm raised, and you're breathing. And then we come in to thread the needle. So you're going to thread that right arm behind the left arm, resting on the arm on the side of the face. You're pushing the left hand into the ground, elbow up towards the ceiling. So you're trying to get 90 degrees at that elbow, that left elbow, and you're reaching. A little bit of a variation here. Now, if you have the right proportion, this is not easy for some people, but if you have the right proportions of your limbs and you've got the flexibility, maybe you can take hold of the toes of that left foot. If that doesn't work, just regular thread the needle. And wherever you're at, you can bring that top arm up behind the back, reaching for the inside of the thigh, and you can open the chest a little bit more and breathe. So if you can grab hold of the toes, you can get a little bit of a leg stretch, stretching out the hamstrings, and then we unwind. But some people find that a little bit of a challenge. It depends, as I say, on your body proportions and also your flexibility. Thread the needle on the other side. Let me just turn through 180. So this time we thread the left arm behind the right arm. And I'm reaching with that right arm so I can get a little deeper into the stretch. I'm pushing that right hand into the ground. So I feel a shoulder stretch here. It's also stretching out my lower back, which is nice. And then if you want to take hold of the toes, you can do that. Trying to keep that leg straight. And if you've got the toes or not, you can bring the other arm up, reaching behind the back towards the inside of the thigh. And then we come out and we're back on our hands and knees. Nice shoulder stretch is if you're in child's pose and then you bring the actually instead of on your hands and knees, you're on your elbows and knees, and then you bring the palms together and you bring in the head down towards the ground. So this is a good shoulder stretch. You're tucking the chin. Maybe the forehead is touching the ground. And breathe. You get a similar stretch in dolphin. So just Keep the palms together, bring the forearms down, make sure the knees are underneath the hips, tuck the toes, bring those hips up and back into dolphin. We're looking between the legs, knees can be bent or the legs can be straight. We'll try and get the back nice and neutral. Straight line, shoulders, elbows through the shoulders to the hips. You're pushing into the ground, the head should be off the ground. If the head is touching the ground, your elbows are probably too wide apart. So we're trying to keep the head off the ground and you're pushing the mat away, trying to get more and more of a straight line through the body. And then the knees come down, hands under the shoulders, we tuck the toes and we're in downward facing dog. Toes closer to each other, we walk the dog a few times. Take your time here, bending one knee as you straighten the opposite leg. Hold one leg straight, one knee bent, getting a bit more of a calf stretch. Other side. And then we look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale as you fold forward, gently relaxing the head, knees bent, and we come all the way up. Inhaling as the arms come up. Exhale as we bring the hands down. Okay, nice bit of shoulder stretching there. Another one good for the shoulders is just swinging the arms. So I've got my feet apart, I'm swinging the arms, and what I'm going to do is just touch the shoulder with one hand as it swings around. So the arms are very loose, and I'm just patting the back with the back of the hand, the other arm. And you're turning the head, getting into a nice rhythm, twisting a little bit deeper each time. And then we just slow down, just like a spring losing its tension. Bend the knees. So we're just dangling the arms and let those arms get heavy and just circle them in one direction. So the arms are really heavy and then you just let them circle in the other direction. And then we bring the feet together, and we've done this stretch before, but before which was from child's pose. This time we're pulling the shoulders down, shoulder blades in, looking between the legs as we gently and carefully and mindfully bring the arms up. Take your time, going a little bit deeper with the breath. And then we slowly come back up. Come to the front of the mat. Let's do a little bit of flow. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We come into plank. We bring the knees down, chin chest forward and down. Inhaling into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up to the ceiling, extended down dog. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We come into warrior one. Add a little bit of a back bend. Exhale into warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, we flow to the other side. Come into plank. Chaturanga on knees, chin, chest to ground. Cobra or up dog, looking up. Back into down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. Warrior one, other side. We come back into plank, warrior two. Just testing you there. Reverse warrior. and then into plank. This time we're going to hold plank. So make sure the toes are under the heels. So you might have to wiggle the toes back, get the heels directly over the toes. Pull up between the shoulder blades. This is actually a good one to strengthen the shoulders. We're breathing, you're engaging the core, the back is totally neutral. Don't drop the hips, don't bring the hips up too high. If it gets a challenge, you can bring the knees down. If it bothers the wrists, you come onto the forearms. Side plank. Bring the right hand to center, stack the feet. Again, you can be in a side forearm plank if you prefer. You're stacking the arms, you're looking up. Nice way to strengthen the core. The planks here is a really good way to strengthen the core. From plank, we bring in the whole body forward. We're trying to turn the inside of the elbows forward. As we drop the elbows to 90, if you can't hold it, come all the way down. Inhaling into up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. We look forward, we jump or walk forward between the hands. Inhaling halfway up, exhale, folding forward, knees bent. We're back in chair and then into mountain. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we're back into plank. Chaturanga on knees, chin, chest to ground. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one on the other side. And then we go into warrior two. Now this time we're going to go into Trikonasana. So we'll do a reverse warrior. We go back into warrior two. We straighten that front leg so both legs are straight. You're going to reach as much as you can with the arms parallel to the ground. And then you bring that front hand down and the upper arm up, opening up. Straight lines, top hand, all the way through to that bottom hand. Trying to get the legs straight, you're lifting up the insteps. Ideally, you're looking up, but if the neck aches, you can look down, don't drop the head. You can look down, but don't drop the head like this. Keep that neck nicely lined up with the rest of the back. We come back into warrior two, reverse warrior, and we flow to the other side. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one. Adding a bit of a back bend. We exhale into warrior two, keeping that knee nicely lined up. Reverse warrior. Warrior two again as we straighten that front leg and come into Trikonasana. Reaching forward. Bringing the hand down, wherever it lands, that's the spot. Stack the arms, lift up the insteps, breathe. Back into warrior two, reverse warrior, and then we come into plank. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. You can hold down dog, you can do a vinyasa, or you can come into child's pose. And then slowly come up. So what we're going to do, we're going to do another flow. We'll do warrior one, warrior two, and then half moon, maybe a revolved half moon. You might want a block. Some people like a block with these poses. Let me just change the screen a little bit. You can see me a bit better. So if you need the block, have the block towards the front of the mat. Come to the front of the mat, feet parallel, feet together. Inhale into chair. Exhale as you fold forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we walk into plank. Chaturanga, inhaling into up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one. We add a little bit of a back bend. We then come into warrior two. We do a reverse warrior. And then we come into half moon. So I'm going to shift the block so it's in front but it's outside the foot, so the block is probably about 1.5 feet in front of me, and I bring my hand onto the block and I bring the other arm up and I'm opening up to the side of the room. Again, straight line from the top hand to the bottom hand, from that top foot all the way through to the shoulder, and you try and keep your balance. If you'd rather have your hands on the ground, that's fine. We come out, we come back into warrior two. A little bit more challenging is the revolved version. Reverse warrior, and then we sweep the back hand, which is going to be your left hand. We move the block to the inside of the foot, it's still in front of you, or you can just have your fingertips on the ground. We bring up the back leg and then we open up, so we're adding a twist into revolved half moon. Challenging pose. You're trying to keep that top arm nicely lined up with the back, so you've got that nice straight line, so we're keeping the shoulder nice and safe. And we slowly come out and we're back in warrior two. Reverse warrior into plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog, and we hold down dog for a breath or two. From downward facing dog, you bring up your left leg and you bring that foot forward, coming into warrior one. So I'm just changing my orientation so we've got a different view. We come into warrior two, reverse warrior, and then into half moon. And you can use the block if you want. I'm not going to use the block this time, but my hand is 1.5 feet in front to the outside of the foot, and then I'm just going to open up and I'm trying to bring that leg pretty high so it's a straight line from that top foot to the shoulder. I'm flexing that top foot, top hand nicely lined up with the arm lined up with the back. And we've got a rectangle between the leg, the arm, the ribs and the floor. We come back out into warrior two. Reverse warrior. And then we do the revolved version. So we sweep that back hand and it comes to the inside of the foot, but in front and inside. And then we open up towards the side again, adding the twist. Challenging pose. And we come back into warrior two. Reverse warrior. Into plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. And we bring the knees down. And we just take a little bit of a breath or two in child's pose. And then we slowly come up. So I think most of you know, if those half moons are a struggle, you know, and you want to practice, just practice against a wall. You can do, if you're doing the regular half moon, you do warrior 2 against the wall, and then you can go into the pose and you can just get support from the wall with pushing the foot and the hand into the wall. If you're doing the revolved version, you start off in warrior 2 with your back against the wall, and then you go into the revolved version. Sit on the heels. Bring the hands behind you, so the fingers are nicely lined up with the toes. Tuck the chin, and then open up the chest. So I'm trying to expand the chest, and then I'm going to slowly take the head back, nice and carefully, and then bring those hips up and breathe. So we're trying to open the whole front body. And then release. Oh, this action, I mean, you guys know this, but this action that we've done a couple of times where you're pulling the shoulders down, shoulder blades together, and you're lifting the arms up. That's the same kind of action you want in bridge. So if we come into bridge, if you come onto your back a minute, so this is another nice shoulder stretch. I'm just going to walk the feet in, you come up, and it's the same action here. You're walking the shoulders in, you're trying to pull the shoulders away from the ears, and you're pushing the hands, the arms into the ground. You're keeping the legs parallel, and the gaze is all the time towards the ceiling, never to the side in this pose, and you're breathing. But this is a nice shoulder opener. You're also strengthening the legs, so keep the legs parallel, don't let them splay out. Feet pushed into the ground. You can feel the glutes working, you can feel the quads working. And then we slowly come down. We pull the knees in and we rock into boat. Actually, what I think we'll do, let's do a couple of hip openers, and we can get ourselves into the full eagle. So let's slowly come down. As you're coming down, you're straightening the legs. Keep the feet off the ground and bring the hands behind the head. And you're pushing the lower back into the ground like crazy. Abs of steel for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we slowly come all the way down. We walk the feet in, and we bring the outer of the right ankle onto the left leg. Now keep the left foot on the ground, and we're just going to place the right hand onto the thigh, the inside of the thigh, and just push that leg away, opening the inside of the hip. We switch legs, outer of the left foot onto the right leg, and you're going to push that leg away. We switch legs again, but this time we take hold of the back of the left leg and we pull the legs in, recline pigeon, so we're getting more of an outer hip stretch. The foot that's close to you is flexed, heel pushed out, toes pulled in. As you pull in, quite a lot of arm strength. You're trying to get the tailbone lower, so try not to bring the tailbone off the ground. If you can avoid it, just do what you can. So you've got those two opposite forces. Rock a little bit, get a little bit of a back massage. The back should like this one. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Left foot onto the right leg, you're pulling in that right leg, activating the foot, feeling that outer hip stretch, and then we do a little bit of rocking. And then we hold onto the back of both legs and we rock up. We pull the feet in and we come on our hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Let's hold down dog. Pushing the hands into the ground. Looking between the legs, pulling the armpits down. Trying to get the back neutral. If you can keep the back neutral, maybe you can straighten the legs, maybe you can get the heels towards the ground or closer to the ground. But keep that back neutral. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale as you fold forward. Bend the knees into chair, and then we come all the way up. So we've got nice open shoulders and hips. So we're going to go into tree. Tree is another hip opener. Balance on the right foot, bring the left foot inside that leg. And then you bring the palms together, palms to chest. Getting taller, working the muscles of that standing leg. Arms up whenever you're ready. And this is going to strengthen that standing leg. We're getting a hip opener. You're concentrating just to keep the balance. My foot is working all the time. I feel it moving, helping me keep my balance here. The weight is shifting different parts of that foot, and then we slowly come down. I'm starting to feel it in the calf muscle then. That leg was starting to work. So I feel it in the calf muscle and the foot mostly in that pose. Other side, you're on the left foot. So I'm going to get a little bit more space between the toes. I'm trying to spread the toes, and then I bring the other foot inside the leg. Skin on skin is really helpful. You get more friction. We get tall, palms together, arms up whenever you like. Find something to gaze at. Work those leg muscles. Breathing is pretty regular, not so emphasizing the breath in any particular way. Starting to feel those leg muscles working, calf muscle. Foot is working hard just to keep you balanced. It's not a still pose. You can feel the weight shifting on different parts of that foot all the time. And then we come out, shake everything out. Okay, full eagle. We've done eagle arms, let's do the full eagle. Extend the arms to the side. Bring the right arm under the left arm, and we get those hands pretty close. We come into chair. So I think I said for you, right arm under left, which means you bring the right leg on top. I'm trying to do the mirror image. You squeeze the legs on together, and then maybe hook the foot. Maybe it'll go, maybe not. Maybe you'll lose your balance. If you do, just try again. Once you're there, once you're as far as you can go, you make sure you center the arms, maybe sit down a bit lower, maybe bring those arms up and take a breath or two. And we release. I found the balance a little bit of a challenge then. Other side, extend the arms. Bring the left arm under the right arm. Or just make sure you do the other side. Into chair. And if your left arm is under your right, you bring the left leg on top. You squeeze the legs. You've got to squeeze those legs together if you want any chance of hooking that foot. You then center the arms and you lift the arms up, maybe sit a little bit low. So we're getting a shoulder stretch, a hip stretch. Balance is a challenge. It's balancing. So you're having to concentrate to keep that balance. And we release. And we shake everything out and we move those shoulders. Interlace the hands again. Bring the arms up. Look up. Take a little bit of a side stretch. Inhale, come up. Over to the other side. And then come back up. Bring one hand behind the back. Now, if it's not possible to hook the fingers, you could have a strap over the shoulder and hold onto the strap with both hands. So imagine I'm holding onto a strap. If you're flexible enough, maybe you can hook the fingers. Try not to push into the head. I'm trying to pull that lower hand a little bit higher, and I'm trying to keep that top arm away from the head, so I'm not pushing into the head. So the head and the neck are relaxed. I'm pulling that top elbow a little bit further back. And then release. It's good to come out of that one. Other side, you bring the other hand behind the back. Trying to get the palm back of the hand between the shoulder blades. Other arm comes up. Try and keep that arm close to the head. And then see if you can hook the fingers. If you can hook the fingers, you can probably pull that lower hand, that lower hand higher up the back, and try and keep the neck nice and loose. And then we release. Another nice shoulder stretch is with the strap. This is a really nice one. I do this a lot. I'm just kneeling down. You can stand if you'd rather, but I'm just kneeling down just so the camera can get a better view. So I bring the strap onto my thumbs, and then I bring the fingers underneath and grab the strap. And then I can lengthen the strap. You don't have to hold it that way, but I find it's nice because you can easily lengthen the strap. You want the strap long enough so that you can straighten the arms, but you don't want it too long so you can feel the stretch. I start off with my arms straight and the strap a little bit above my head. And then I slowly bring the strap lower so it's behind the head, and then in line with the shoulders. And I'll hold it here for several breaths. And you can feel the upper ribs expanding. Feel across the upper front body. And then maybe you can lower the strap a little bit more. And there's a point where it's a little bit of a challenge to go through as you lower the strap all the way down to the ground. You can add a side stretch, diagonal stretch, and a side stretch. And you're really trying to pull that strap. It's almost like you're trying to break that strap. So you get a really good side stretch on this one. And so on the other side. So hopefully all you guys have got straps. If you don't have a strap, you could use a belt. So have something handy for the future, if not now. Okay, we're ready to do cow face pose, right? We haven't done that for a while. So this is a hip stretch and a shoulder stretch. And I find it a little bit of a challenge to get into the hips, the hip stretches. So I'm going to bring one leg on top of the other. So why don't you bring, let me do the mirror image. Bring the right leg on top. And then what I'm going to do is come up and try and squeeze those legs together. So we've got the legs. I've got a little bit of a gap here. I'd like it to be closer, but that's about where I'm at. Then we add the arms, just like the arm stretches we did before. And usually, and I've seen this done differently, it doesn't matter how you do the arms, but typically if I've got my left knee on top, my left elbow will point up. So if your right knee is on top, your right elbow will point up. So if your right knee is on the top, you take the left hand behind you and you try and hook the fingers and you open up like this. So this is cow face pose, Bodakanasana. We're getting a shoulder stretch and a hip stretch on this one. Take a few breaths. We haven't done this for a while. We release and just move the shoulders. Sometimes the best part of a yoga pose is coming out, right? So we're going to keep the feet on the ground and you're going to rotate 360 anti-clockwise. I go clockwise, keeping the feet on the ground. And then the legs are set up to do the other side. I come up, I try and squeeze those legs together. I sit back down. So I'm getting a nice hip stretch here. And then if your left knee is on top, you want the left elbow pointing up. So you bring the right hand behind you, you hook the fingers, you try and slide that lower hand up the back. If you can't hook the fingers, you can just hold on to the opposite elbows. I should have said that when we did the other side. Or you could use the strap. But this is a nice way to stretch out the shoulders, the arms, the hips. And then we release. We bring the soles of the feet together. Pull the feet in closer, Bodakanasana, holding onto the feet. Rock. As you rock, you're getting a little bit closer to the heels. If your back is rounded a lot, if your knees are high, sit on a block. It'll make it easier. A lot of arm strength. I'm trying to pull my hips forward, trying to get the back neutral, and then I'm just trying to persuade the knees to get closer to the ground. Bodakanasana. Close the eyes and breathe. And then we slowly come up. We extend the legs forward into staff pose, Dandasana. Inhale as the arms come up. Exhale, we gently fold forward, reaching for the toes. You can hold on to the big toes, the outside of the feet. If you can't reach the feet, use the strap. Keep the back happy, try not to round the back. And I'm just going to go from side to side, trying to get a little bit more opening in the hips. I'll then keep hold of the toes, try and lift up the chest higher, bring those hips forward, and then fold a little bit more forward. If you feel anything in the back, just a nice gentle stretch. Don't let it bother the back, and you breathe. We slowly come back up. We cross the feet. We come on our hands and knees into plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. You look forward, jump or walk forward into a seated pose, and then just extend one leg forward. Why don't you extend your right leg forward, pull the left foot inside that leg. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale as we fold forward. Again, you can use a strap if you want. I'm coming up, holding onto the foot so I can get my back more neutral. I'm bringing the hips forward, dog tilt, and then I'm gently folding forward. If you're super flexible, what you might be able to do is, so if your right leg is forward, you would hold on to the right wrist with the left hand onto the round the foot. You've got a nice big grip, and you can go a little deeper into the stretch as you bring the head towards the leg. You're getting a hamstring stretch. If you've got really tight hamstrings, this is a challenge. Pull both feet in, come into plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, jump or walk forward, extending the left leg forward, right foot inside that leg. Inhale as the arms come up, exhale as we fold forward, taking hold of the foot, using a strap if you need to, keeping the back happy. Go as deep as feels good, and breathe. We come out, extend both legs forward again, bring the hands behind you slightly so the fingers are lined up with the hips. You can either do tabletop, so in tabletop you walk the feet in, you bring the hips up like this, or reverse plank, which is a little bit more challenging. You keep the legs straight, you bring the hips up, and then you try and touch the ground with the toes as the head goes carefully back. This is going to work the arms, it's opening the chest, another shoulder stretch, you breathe in. And then we come down, we pull the feet in, we're back into plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. We bring the knees down and we rest in child's pose. Okay, stay in child's pose. So I'm working you guys pretty hard today, right? So, well, it is New Year's. So, we're going to get ourselves fit this year. Come out of child's pose, sit on the heels, and then come onto your back. Take a full body stretch. Reaching the arms over the head. Try and get a little bit more length. Come into a side stretch, getting into that banana shape. Take about 3 or 4 breaths here. And then a banana shape on the other side. A side stretch on the other side. Recenter. Let's do a twist. We haven't done many twists, so let's do a little bit of a twist before we do Shavasana. Just a quick one. Pull the knees in, take the knees over to one side as you extend the opposite arm. Come out of the twist, rock a little bit, and then knees over to the other side, taking a twist in the other direction. And then come out of the twist, rock a little bit, another full body stretch, and then take the feet apart, the legs apart, arms either side of you, into Shavasana, totally relax, close the eyes, just let yourself sink into the ground. Maybe take a couple of deep breaths. And then just regular breathing. Letting the whole body soften. Just letting that tension melt away. Stretch out the hands. Stretch out the feet, the toes. And then relax the hands and the feet. And again, stretching out the hands and the feet. And relax. One more time. Stretching out the hands, the toes, and relax. Walk the feet in towards you and roll over to your side with the eyes closed and take 2 or 3 breaths. Gently push yourself into a seated position. Inhale as you bring the arms up, palms together. Exhale as they come down. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. This time keep the palms together, coming into Namaste.